It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
All right, hello there, South Mississippi, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. So we've got a lot to track in the First Alert Weather Center as we go over the next few days, because today we're looking at a warming pattern, then this weekend we're looking at some rain chances, and then next week we're looking at freezing temperatures. So it's like they say, if you don't like the weather in South Mississippi, stick around 5 minutes, it'll change. A lot of changes coming through. So let's knock them out one at a time. The first one we're going to talk about is going to be these above normal temperatures. So we expect some parts of South Mississippi to actually find temperatures into the 80s as we go into the next several days, today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and frankly, some spots might actually come close to setting a record. Let's look at today. We start off the day already in the 60s, so it didn't really cool off very much overnight. Before you know it, we're quickly warming to the 70s by this afternoon. Your air conditioner, that's going to be clicking on a bit more frequently nowadays. I know a couple of days ago, you might have been considering turning the heater on. I mean, on Monday, we barely got into the 60s. So, yeah, the heater might have been running at your house, and now you're going to probably lose hold of the heater and maybe switch it to AC for the rest of the week. We do want to point out, though, the record temperatures. So where they've been keeping the climate records in the Gulfport, Biloxi area, those records date back to the 1800s. And for example, today the forecast high for Gulfport, Biloxi is 74 degrees, and the record is 79. So I don't think we're going to set a record today, but it's within 5 degrees, so it's not that far. It's approaching it. And we get even closer on Thursday, 77, records 3 degrees away. Friday, forecast 78, records only 1 degree away. And then Saturday, forecast 78, and yeah, that's above record-setting territory. That record back in 2018. Again, we have hundreds and hundreds of Februarys to compare to, and you'll note, interestingly, that Thursday's calendar date, which is the 19th, as well as February 20th, Friday, and February 21st, Saturday, all three of those records, they're not in the 1800s, they're not in the 1900s, they're actually within the last 10 years. The warmest February 19th ever recorded since 1893 in Gulfport, Biloxi was back in 2017 when we hit 80. The warmest February 20th ever recorded was back in 2018 when we had 79 in Gulfport, Biloxi. And then the warmest February 21st was back in 2018 as well when we had 77. And so with this February 21st, 2026, forecast in 78, you know, we got a chance of breaking that. I think we could set one on Friday, because there's always some uncertainty with these numbers for the forecast. It could be a degree or two off from what actually happens. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Things are looking rather spring-like as we go into the next several days. So there's a look at your spring warmth heading into Wednesday. And also don't want to go without mentioning that this is not just warm air, it's coming in from the Gulf, so it's actually going to be warm and humid air as well. So you take a look at the temperatures today. Places like Gulfport, Biloxi, 74, Pascagoula, Moss Point, 75, Waveland Bay, St. Louis, 76, 77. You're looking at Poplarville, Picayune, 78, Wiggins, Perkinston, 79, Lucedale, Bendale, 78 degrees. So a lot of warm numbers here. Hattiesburg could be around 79 or 80. We're going to begin to see the humidity really start to tick up noticeably as we go from today into tomorrow. So with it being warm and humid at the same time, heat index might become a factor to talk about. It might start to feel a little bit hotter than the actual temperature lets on because of all the humidity. Which is interesting because we've got a heat index this week. We're going to be talking wind chill next week. So there's your Thursday, upper 70s, lower 80s for temperatures. And there's your Friday, upper 70s, lower 80s. Notice they're all above normal, right? Normal, mid 60s. And we're going to be around 10 to 15 degrees above normal as we go into the next 3 days. So that's a look at the next 3 days in South Mississippi, seeing those middle 70s and upper 70s by the beaches, but also seeing some lower 80s for areas that are away from the water. And so that's a look at temperature. That's topic 1. Now we're on to topic 2, rain chances. Today's rain chances, not all that high. They're not 0, but they are pretty low, 20% or less. We could see a stray spotty shower at times, but it just looks like we're going to see a mix of sun and clouds. It's kind of like a partly to mostly cloudy day. And if you're going to see any rain at all, don't expect much out of it. Be light raindrops. You can also see those breezy winds kicking in. We could see a little bit of a breezy day at times with the wind coming in from the Gulf. Remember, the water temperatures are in the lower 60s. So if it's this afternoon and our air temperature is 74 with the wind off the water and the water temperature in the 60s, it's going to be a pretty cool breeze by the beach this afternoon and this evening. If you're planning a walk by the beach for a sunset or something like that, there will be a cool breeze off the beach because remember, the air temperature will be in the 70s, but the water temperature in the 60s and the wind off the water makes it feel cooler right by the beachfront areas. So that's a look at today's rain chances, but I do want to give you a heads up that we will expect rain chances to increase. So for today, for tomorrow, isolated showers if any at all. But by the time we get to Friday, definitely by Saturday, we are going to see that increase because a cool front will be coming to the area. I can actually show you what this looks like in our kind of 5-day breakdown, and we'll make that a little bit bigger on the screen for you. So you can see, again, very, very isolated if any rain at all today, very isolated if any rain at all tomorrow. But then we see a pretty decent chance for rain on Friday and Saturday because a cool front will be moving into the region. Saturday looks like it will be the best chance for rain overall for our state. The heavy stuff in yellow, not on our coast, right? So we're not expecting heavy rain in South Mississippi. That will be a Jackson thing. But for us, looks like just kind of light to moderate showers in coastal Mississippi on Saturday. We do have the Futurecast that breaks that down for you for Saturday. So here's a map showing scattered showers as a front moves into the area. Saturday morning, we're seeing the heavier downpours, Jackson, Meridian, Interstate 20. Saturday morning in coastal Mississippi, light rain if any at all. Then you look at closer to Saturday midday, we're still seeing light rain if any at all on the coast, but we are starting to see those steadier showers closer to Macomb, Hattiesburg, and the Pine Belt. Then we go to Saturday afternoon, and we're starting to see those steadier showers rolling into coastal Mississippi for Saturday afternoon, for Saturday evening, and I think that's going to probably be our best rain chance out of the whole next week. That stuff right there between 3 p.m. Saturday and 9 p.m. Saturday, based on the latest information. There might even be a rumble of thunder with that as well as the cool front comes in, maybe because of the timing with it being in the afternoon. There might be a few rumbles of thunder involved as there might be just enough warmth to fuel a thunderstorm or two developing. Not expecting severe weather with this. This is not going to be a repeat of the last storm system that came in last Sunday morning before sunrise with some severe storms. This is not expected to have the same setup. So now we're going to go to our third topic. How do we get to freezing temperatures? So that's a look at the temperature trend, and it's above normal, right? For now, we're seeing temperatures approaching 80 this week. But then we go to next week, and we see those numbers coming down. You can see them dropping into the 60s as we go from Saturday afternoon to Sunday afternoon. So this is a split weekend. If you have weekend plans, you really got to watch the weather, because Saturday and Sunday, it's built different, as the kids say. Sunday is going to be a much different pattern. You got spring on Saturday, you got winter on Sunday, and then you got even more winter into Monday and Tuesday. So this weekend, one weekend, two seasons. And when you go to next week, it's a cool snap that lasts the first part of the week. I don't think it's going to be the whole week. So I know you might be groaning, oh no, not this again, winter. You know, but it's there, but it's not going to be a whole week type thing. I think it's just going to be the first part of the week, and then we see some improvement. So let's take a look at this temperature forecast as we go into the next week or so, and show it to you day by day. So here's today. There's actually an upper ridge of high pressure over Mexico. That's the source of all this warmth. And we are tapping into that with the wind coming in from the south and southwest. So that's how we're able to warm things up for us on Ash Wednesday. You take a look at Thursday, we're still seeing the same wind profile setup. We're still seeing those winds coming right on in from the south and southwest, still tapping into the warmer air. That's what gets our temperatures closing in on 80, near record-setting territory for Thursday. For Friday, maybe for Saturday, you can see again that wind coming in from the south and southwest on Friday. So we're still tapping into the warmth. Now Saturday, we're still tapping into the warmth, as you can see, those winds coming in from the south and southwest. But I wanted to zoom out and show you to the north. Here comes winter, basically, the cold snap, because you can see the wind coming in from the north here, even though it is still coming in from the south here. And where you have that division, that dividing line, that's where you're going to find that cold front. And we already tracked this cold front for you on Saturday's Futurecast a few minutes ago when we showed you those rain chances coming in with this. But once we go from Saturday to Sunday, the warm air is swept away by the front. And so that's what gets us into this cold snap. How long does the cold snap last? Sunday, that's 1 day. Monday, that's 2 days. And Monday is probably going to be the heart of it. That's when the core of the coldest air is as close to the coast as possible. And then Tuesday, that's the 3rd day. We're already starting to see some improvement as the core of the coldest air already begins to move away. So a 3-day cold snap for you next week. Once we get beyond Tuesday, the cold air retreats, and look at what's already happening. We're already about to tap into the next warm-up with wind already coming in from the south. So it's going to be a quick turnaround from the cold snap early next week to maybe a repeat warmer pattern for the end of next week. But before we get out of that cold snap, I think we're going to have to deal with at least one freeze. Monday night, Tuesday morning, that will be the coldest setup. The wind will be at its lowest during this time frame, which allows the temperatures to really crash overnight. I think we're going to have a couple of things that we're going to have to talk about when we look more into the details about this cold snap, because there's going to be 2 nights. One of them is Sunday night. That's the windy one. So the Sunday night, yeah, we're going to have 30s, but it's going to be windy, and we're going to have to be talking wind chills, and those might come down to below freezing. But we might not actually get the temperature to drop below freezing Sunday night, because when the winds are up, the temperature doesn't want to drop as quickly, even though the wind chill will feel colder. All right, then we got the Monday night one, the Monday night, Tuesday morning one that I just showed you. And the temperature will come further down because the wind will be calmer and more relaxed. So you might not have as much of a wind chill compared to the temperature Tuesday morning, but the temperature will be colder at its coldest. So you put it all together in the 7-day forecast, and what a journey weather-wise we're going to go through over the next 7 days. We've got it all in here. We've got warmth, we've got humidity, we've got rain chances, maybe a rumble of thunder. We've got windy weather, we've got chilly weather, we've got freezing temperatures. What else? What else is there weather-wise to track over the next 7 days? So going to be a busy week here in the First Alert Weather Center. I think if we had to, there's of course a lot to talk about, a lot to get lost in the noise. But as far as impactful weather, what will make you change your routine that could maybe threaten your property, threaten your livelihood? Out of the next 7 days, the biggest impact would be the freezing temperatures coming Tuesday morning of next week, near freezing temperatures. If not, also the very cold wind chill that could come Monday morning. So those are probably going to be your 2 biggest impacts. The very cold wind chill Monday morning and the freezing temperatures coming in Tuesday morning. That's probably your top impact. Your secondary impact out of all of the next 7 days would probably be these rain chances at some point Friday night into Saturday. especially if the rain bothers some of your outdoor activities over the weekend on Saturday. So that'll be your secondary weather impact out of the next 7 days. And then the tertiary, the third place weather impact would be the windy weather that's going to come in and kick into gear. We do have some breezy days today and tomorrow, but it's going to be downright windy, howling winds for us as this weather change takes place over the weekend, and we go from 78 Saturday to lower 60s Sunday. The winds of change, that cold air will be blown into the area by strong north winds, strong winds from the north. And so those north winds really kick in on Sunday, and they're going to stick with us Sunday night to Monday morning, causing those wind. When you have 30s plus windy, you got that very cold wind chill. The strong winds continue at times on Monday, and then we get rid of the wind Monday night, which allows the temperature to come down a little bit. Well, now you're ahead of the game and you're more informed about the weather changes that are on the way over the next 7 days. If you have any friends that don't pay as much attention to the weather, it might be a good idea to share this video with them, or at least tell them, hey, you might want to be checking in on the weather, as we've got some impacts coming with freezing temperatures that could harm people, pets, and plants. We've got wind chills that could be coming in next week, and windy weather at times this weekend that might blow around some of your patio decorations or whatever, and some rain chances that might also impact travel and outdoor activities over the weekend too. That'll do it for today's edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. See you next time.
Thank you for watching Waking Up with Wesley with WLOX First Alert Weather Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams.